All right, hey, it's Ronin, man. Getting some great feedback, so I'm really enjoying making these videos. Today, going to talk about being authentic. And I think everybody, if you ask anybody, like, hey, should I be authentic? They'll say, oh, yeah, of course, you should be yourself, tell the truth. And the thing is any kind of advice, right? You look at it in the real world. How does that fit in the real world? So I'm going to give you an example of something for myself. And this time, I didn't even mean to be authentic. But I used to have an ad where I would fuck guys' wives. I used to have an ad in the classifieds, right? So I watch me fuck your wife was the ad, right? And so this is way back. This is back in like 98 or 7, 97 or 6. It'd probably be like 96 actually. So say 96. So it was kind of like that time. It was still a taboo, a real taboo back then. So I did this ad. It was very simple. And I had just kind of made the ad up because I had had so many experiences with girls that I thought, and I thought, you know what? I bet some of those stories that you read about on the internet, or back then it wasn't the internet, it was pretty much the penthouse forums. I thought they're probably true, right? Everybody used to say, oh, they're all fake. I was like, no, I bet they're true. So I'm going to put this ad up, find out. So I put the ad up. Sure enough, it was true. And tons of guys contacted me. It was great. Super good experience. But the thing is I went in for a job interview after that. And so I don't know why I did this, but I had a specific email set up, and it was a really funny email name, right, that I had set up for that ad because I didn't want to use my regular ad. So when I applied for my first real job in business, I used that email, and like when I went in for the interview at the company, and so then I got the job the first day, and afterwards, the guy said to me. They were all laughing after I got the job, and they said, "Oh, that's your email, right?" I said, "Yeah." And they go, "That's the one for the watch me fuck your wife, right?" And then everybody started laughing, and I said, "Yeah." He's like, "That's why we hired you, because we knew that anybody would do this ad is the balls to work here, because it was a sales job." So they were like, you're gonna fit in just fine here." So if you ask, and then another friend of mine. He has a very unique preference sexually, very unique, and he's very honest about it, very open about it, and so he had written about it online once, and then he got embarrassed about it. He took it down, but people remembered that forever because it was so unique. And later on, when he had like some opportunity to grow his network amongst the kind of guys he wanted to, people remembered that because it was so unique. So in other words, you look weird when you say something weird in the beginning, when you're honest about yourself. I'm not talking about being authentic, like, hey man, I like this TV show, or like, I like wearing 1970s clothes or something really boring and normal. I'm talking about seriously unique shit. This is where the juice is. So Ronin, man, is like, if you know this, you might not be able to do it with everything in your life right off the bat, but if you just know that it's these unusual things that get you the big opportunities in life, because you're being authentic and everybody else out there is real too. So when they hear something, they're drawn to it, even in business. So who would ever imagine I would get my first real job that made me millions of dollars, like seriously, millions of dollars, because I wrote an ad about watch me fuck your wife. I mean, who would ever, like, what business school would ever give that advice? Being that authentic, even though I didn't mean to be. I can't even remember why I used the email. Maybe I was secretly trying to let the word out. I might have been, because I had a bunch of emails that I used to use for business back then, but either way, or for work, And so, there it is. So I kind of was authentic on accident about something, and it helped me greatly. And I've seen many times in my life now that being seriously authentic it doesn't make everybody like you, but it's like the people that are like you, they really come to you, right? They really, really come to you because it's like, this dude is perfect, right? This is exactly right. So don't cover up who you are, man. Be yourself. And I mean, like, in the big way, look for the juicy things, look for the real things that you're different than other people because of, right? Those are the things you want to mention. And you'll be surprised. If you're a swinger, if you are a player, if you are whatever, I can tell you one other situation. I had a girl, and I had in my room, I had all this pornography on my wall. I had all pornography all across the wall. Like I just took like magazines and I cut all the girls out and just taped them on the wall. So it was just from the top to the bottom. It was girls licking pussy and all that. So my whole wall like was about 10 feet long, was just covered in pussy, right? And so when a girl would come to my house, she knew what I wanted when she came into my house, right? And I know a lot of people would say that it sounds creepy, and I'm sure that some guys would think that, and but it wasn't creepy at all. In fact, I had a 100% lay rate in that apartment. Every girl that came in there, we did it, every single one. And I remember one girl, she saw it, and then she said, "Do you like that?" And it was like a funny question to ask. It's like, of course, you know. I said, "Yeah, you know." I didn't make fun of her. I just said, "Yeah, I do." And then she goes, "Oh," and she didn't say anything else. And then later, I went to her house, and she actually had made porn herself. She had a pretty famous book out there, and she was not. You could tell she was quite sensitive about it because she was like really pretty, normal, looked like a normal hot girl, like, you know what I mean. This is like way back actually, before porn was like popular, before the internet, and I was like, you know, she let me into her life because I was very open about mine. Because a lot of guys are very squeamish about liking porn, right? They're like, oh, they watch it on their own, right? I like to watch porn mainly with girls. So I like to have a girl come over, I'll put on some porn, and then I'll fuck her, right? So that works for me. And I do have one little tweak in case you're going to try this. If you have a girl who's very sensitive, turn the sound down and just have the video playing, the porn playing, so she can look over there and see it, but she doesn't have to hear it. It's those real sensitive girls, somehow the hearing of the porn bothers them, but if they see it, it's fine. That's been my experience. So either way, be honest, be yourself, be authentic. It helps you with getting laid. It helps you with weeding out people that you don't want to be around anyway. And actually, everybody, including business people, like it. They like when you're authentic. And you'll find new opportunities. And also, it does give you a certain confidence, too. Like, for me, saying that I liked porn back then was a really big thing. Like, nobody ever admitted it back then. And the fact that I was just open about it. And I would, you know, and I don't like to, you know, I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah, I just basically was open about it, and like girls, it was amazing actually, because girls like porn too, right? Now we all know that because of Pornhub statistics and everything. But back then they used to say girls don't like it, it's creepy and this and that, right? So, but it wasn't creepy with me. It wasn't creepy because I wasn't embarrassed about it. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh, you know. And I would usually pick the type of porn that I wanted to do. So if I wanted to do a threesome with her, I would show a threesome video, and then we would go out and pick up a girl, whatever. You know, I always kind of had something in mind. I played specific movies for specific girls, right? So depending on what I was trying to do that time. So the girls kind of knew just by watching the movie what was going to happen. They're like, oh, we're going to do that. They would kind of get excited. Like, it was kind of like, oh, wow, you know, never tried that, right? So that was kind of my way of introducing things to the girls. And it worked very well. So either way, be authentic, be yourself. And that means the hardcore shit. The hardcore stuff is the most important. That's the stuff where the juice is, right? So think about that. Thanks for listening to Ronin Man, and thanks for posting. We're on Reddit, and if you could post around the Ronin Man stuff anywhere, really appreciate it. It's a new channel, and I appreciate the views, and I appreciate the comments, subscribes, and the shares. All right. Thanks, guys.